Hello everybody, Gabriel here, and today we're back with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 5, where this time Obi-Wan and Leia and their new friends make it back to their base after the last episode, only to find the Empire at their doorstep after Reva put a tracker on their ship. And it also turns out that Reva also put something in Leia's little droid companion that causes it to go rogue and close the main hatch that allows the ships to fly through, so they have no way of getting out until they fix that. So Leia has to crawl into the hatch where the wires are because she is small enough, and she needs to get the door open while Obi-Wan and the others buy her some time. And during this, Obi-Wan talks to Reva through the door and convinces her to let Vader come so she can take him out while he's distracted by Obi-Wan. And we get a little bit more flashbacks from her during Order 66 when she was a Padawan, showing Anakin doing stuff, killing the younglings, and she mentions how she hid with the bodies, messed up stuff, of course, and Obi-Wan's able to use that to sort of convince her to let him fight Vader and probably escape under her nose while she's trying to fight Vader later. Throughout the whole episode, we also get flashbacks between Anakin and Obi-Wan when they were training during the events of Attack of the Clones. Well, it's a brand new flashback, and this kind of leads to, I guess, the best part of the episode. That being Hayden Christensen actually on screen instead of Darth Vader in the suit, because I'm still not sure if Christensen is actually in the Vader suit in this show or if they're just saying he is. But there's no doubt here that Christensen is back as Anakin for his flashback, and there's only one problem with it. If you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. That's the weird decision to not digitally de-age Hayden Christensen, because while he's aged well now, you can still tell he's 40 when Anakin's supposed to be a late teenager, at least. When Hayden Christensen was I think early to mid-20s when Attack of the Clones came out. That movie's now 20 years old, which is pretty crazy now. But it's a little funny, but it's still great to see the two acting together on screen. And the whole point of the flashback is to show how Anakin often acts impulsively when fighting, or at least tries very hard when Obi-Wan wants him to be a bit more precise, a bit more cautious. And the two prove to each other how both of their ways of fighting can work and not work. So that was fun, despite that minuscule problem. So afterward, Vader makes it onto the planet. He gets through the door, and he eventually catches up with the ship. Now everyone has gone onto the ship, and the doors are now open. And something that's a little funny, a little weird, is when Vader is just instantly able to use the Force to grab the ship and pull it down. It's almost like Star Killer levels of power when it comes to, pulling a literal ship out of the sky. But it turns out that they knew Vader might do this, so they had, I don't know what, I think they had a droid or autopilot on the ship, because turns out no one's on the ship that Vader tore up, and right behind it, the actual ship takes off, and Vader's just like, oh, okay, and he just lets it take off, because I guess he was tuckered out. And then afterward, Reva decides that now's the time, and she fights Vader, and no surprise, Vader absolutely destroys her when it comes to fighting her. He pulled a ship out of the sky, so I don't think she's gonna take him down. And he does. He stabs her through the gut, and it turns out that the Grand Inquisitor is actually alive, which I guess is not a surprise. But who knows what they were doing, but he's alive, and now he's back to being the Grand Inquisitor. There was a scene earlier in the episode where Vader gives Reva the Grand Inquisitor pin, which I guess was meant to make her think that he was all good for it, but it turns out that he just didn't care. He was, just fooling her. She's not dead, obviously, but who knows, maybe she'll also get a mechanical stomach like the Grand Inquisitor, I imagine. Everyone's getting a mechanical stomach in Star Wars. It's like a fashion trend. Anyway, Obi-Wan, Leia, and the others are safe, except for a few that they lost along the way. And in a big sort of twist, Reva, while, crawling, because she probably can't walk anymore, finds the damaged little communicator that Obi-Wan accidentally dropped that reveals where Bail Organa is wanting to pick up Leia, and it also mentions where Luke is, and that puts Luke in danger, and Obi-Wan senses that, and then we get a little ending part where we see young Luke, sleeping in bed, teasing everything to come next episode. And I don't know how they're going to do that, and I'm a little tense about that, because I don't think we can have Vader show up, because I doubt Luke ever met Darth Vader before New Hope. So I imagine that... Actually, I don't know. So either Obi-Wan has to fight Reva, maybe Vader will be like, okay, you can go do that. He sends Reva to Tatooine for one last job, otherwise he'll kill her. And then she fights Obi-Wan. I guess Obi-Wan might either convince Reva to actually turn to the light because of everything that's sort of set up so far, or he kills her. I wouldn't be surprised either way. And then possibly, I'm not saying it might happen, but maybe Reva reveals to Obi-Wan that Vader is wanting to meet him on Mustafar since their last fight, and now they get to have a rematch on Mustafar, and they'll have a big fight there. And then maybe Obi-Wan will show more of his power, and Vader will be somewhat pleased, but Obi-Wan will get away, and that might be the end, but I don't know what they're going to do with that. So that was episode 5. I liked that a lot more than the last episode. There was a lessened amount of missed opportunities, but there's probably missed opportunities to come shortly. So I'm going to give episode 5 a 5 out of 10. Let's hope episode 6 can make it to a 6 or 7 out of 10. Who knows? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.